Yes, you're welcome to another fantastic edition of our weekend program, Plus Sport. And the weekend Plus Sport is dedicated to all the sporting activities that made headlines across the week. We know that it's been a beautiful and wonderful weekend. And first on our list of trending story has to do with the Nigerian Sport Festival and the exclusion of power event. For those of us that live within the axis of Surulere, there was blockage over the weekend when athletes, power athletes, decided that they want to protest the exclusion from the National Sport Festival. Usually, the power event and the deaf event is together with the National Sport Festival, but the Sport Ministry has decided that the coming National Sport Festival in Delta will not have any power event. So joining me and many other, we also had the fact on making historical event. But let's start with this National Sport Festival. Joining me in the studio first and foremost is Joseph Agwo, who is a football coach, a seasoned football coach. And online with me is Jide Alaka, a seasoned sports journalist and the editor, Premium Times. It's good to have you, Jide.
Thank you very much, Mudash. Thank you.
Yeah, let me start with you before I come to Joseph in the house here. What's your everybody's bothered that there's exclusion of power events from the National Sport Festival. What's your take on this?
First things first, we have to ask if it is best practices, because we are not doing anything in a vacuum. How is it done elsewhere? How is it done in the Olympics? Basically, we know that there are two sports festivals in major events. The able-bodied or do theirs first, and then immediately afterwards, the para athletes have theirs. Basically, I think the major issue here is what is going to happen to the para events. I hear that there's going to be another festival, but I don't think a date has been put to that. And I think that's basically the crux of the challenge or the problem that we're facing right now.
So we know that globally, it's also the Olympics and the Paralympics. In the Commonwealth Games that just happened recent in Birmingham, we had both events. A lot of people are saying that togetherness is expected, that excluding the power event away from the National Sport Festival will diminish or will not give the best of the power event what it's supposed to be. Because the one that happened earlier this year in Abuja, a lot of media houses didn't carry the story, and that is the reason why the power athletes are protesting that we also want to be part of the National Sport Festival. To you, an inclusion, does it really matter, or they should just have their own sport festival?
I think, Mudashiru, you just hit the crux of the matter on the head. Basically, what you have said.
The main reason for the protest is that the exclusion.
Okay, go on, Jide. Hello? I think we still have Jide with us. Let me come to you, Joseph. What's your explanation on this matter?
Well, for me, understanding is the key to this issue.
Okay.
I don't see any.
Okay, Jide, I'll be coming back on you. Let me hear what Joseph has to say on this. Sorry for the little interruption there.
To me, I don't see any reason why they ought to be excluded from the National Sports Festival. They are part of individuals who have been taking sport to a greater height in this country. And if you watch out their performances in international event and African event, they have been doing very well. And Nigerian has been getting medals from them. Excluding them from this National Sports Festival, you are trying to tell us that they are different individuals from the able-bodied athlete, which is not good. So the message you are trying to pass to them is going to what? Diminish their morale. And that will make them to feel a little bit uncomfortable, or perhaps make them look a little bit below expectation, and which is not good for me.
Yeah, Jide, back to you now. One of the reasons why these other athletes are complaining is that they might not get the whole budget or the whole financial backup from them, because the state's budget for the sport festival, which also include the para event. But doing that separately might not get the same attention. In best practices, it can either be together or separately, like the Olympics is separate from the Paralympics. We also have the Deaflympic, but the Commonwealth Games is together. So I don't think this really should be an issue, but the para events or the para athletes don't want it to be that. I'm wondering why we made an issue of this.
Mudashiru, you work in the media, so basically right now we have a communication issue. We have a communication challenge. I don't think the issues have been handled very well. What were the reasons that were stated for being excluded? I don't think you have that anywhere reported. Why did the minister take the decision that he took? I'm very sure he did not take it in a vacuum. There must be something that has prodded or pushed him to make that decision. So, but the reasons for making those decisions are not public. That is why the athletes will complain. But if the reasons are made public, and everybody will see reason, if it is really, oh, this is the reasons why we are doing this, we want to ensure that you have greater media coverage, because you guys, you do even much better than the able-bodied athletes around. Yeah. So when we do that, and Delta says that, oh, immediately the NSF finishes in December, yours is coming up in January, let's say January 7th to something. So those, for me, those are the communication issues. So right now, everybody's just guessing. Why did the minister exclude? The athletes are also guessing. Why did they exclude us? Are they not? That means that we're not going to get budget. So those are the things. The state government, the state sports councils, the minister of sports, everybody needs to come out and say, oh, this is the reason why we have done this, and this is the reason why we are going to do this. If we had done that, I don't think we will have all these challenges.
But it was a protest. I'm sure. Where were you on that day? I'm sure the old Lagos.
I was caught in it.
Yeah, the old Lagosians passing that as is. But is that the best method for protest? Some said that is the best they would have done, because even when the police arrived, we still had them still protesting. But to you, would there have been any other best practice to that?
Okay, so like I said, we are in the media, so let me throw back the question. Okay. What the minister did, was that best practices?
Definitely not.
So you cannot expect to get what you did not give. I'm not saying that the actions that the para-athletes took was the best, but we did not also give them the best. So we cannot be expecting the best from them. So let us do what is best for them, and they will give us their best. That's the only way I can put it.
Okay, and let me come to Joseph in the house here. You are also a stakeholder. Yeah, a stakeholder in this. What's your final? Was that the best approach, so that the message should have gotten to the sport ministry? That's
definitely not the best approach. You see, before you exclude them out of the sport, you should have let them know before time. The sports festival is just few weeks away from now, starting next month, November. And you just come up with one excuse or one plan that is not part of what it ought to be. So for that reason, the athlete, you don't expect them to come out with the best response you need, because right now they are angry. They are trying to express their grievances and trying to let the world know that what the Ministry of Sport and Youth Development has done to them is not the right thing. So for that reason, you don't really need them to see it. You don't really need to see the best out of them. They are angry. They are angry at the system. They are angry at what the nation has been doing to them. Now you are bringing their morals down, and that will hinder them from performing effectively in their various sports. Right now they are having inferiority complex, meaning that the able-bodied sports are better than us. And for that reason, their performances will be low. And these guys have been trying their best to make sure that Nigerian as a nation have a lot of medals from their games. So now what the ministry has done to them is uncalled for. It's uncalled for, totally.
Yeah, it's uncalled for. And I want to tell you this, Jide, that a lot of you, coming to you, Jide Alaka, a lot of para-athletes have decided that though the National Sport Festival in Delta has nothing to do with the power event, and next year we'll be expecting, is it going to still be the same glamour expected of a sport festival if the para athletes, I'm imagining that right now, the only best I could get about the one in Abuja was from videos and pictures. Do you think that the attention will still be focused on those events if they decide to have it next year as the second edition?
Like I said, Mudashiru, you work in the media and can actually answer that question very correctly. Do you think that any media house is going to have two budgets for the Nigerian National Sports Festival? I don't think so. So that is your answer.
Okay.
If we are not going to get two budgets, how am I going to cover the two events?
Interesting, and we hope that. But what's really clear, going away from the issue of the exclusion of power event, is the fact that there's not going to be any power event at the forthcoming National Sport Festival in Asaba, that's Delta State. So that's the latest on the issue between the National Sport Festival, the Sport Ministry, and the power athletes.